Hi, I'm Barbara, and I've taken a personal survey. It's my own personal survey, an observation, an experience that I think the loneliest people on the planet are the ones that I've devoted my podcast to. Super sensitive people, artists that are extremely sensitive, and women that do everything for everyone. I'm saying that because it seems to me that those people, that population, they know how to hold, there I go with my glasses, they know how to hold a space for other people to do whatever they need to do to heal. We recognize what they're doing. We recognize that they're struggling to grow. And somehow we have the capacity to hold a space for them without judging them, without impatience, without ever throwing it back in their face, like a lot of people will do when you're vulnerable. Why is that? I think it's because we are a population of people that have had a lot of pain in our lives, that we are old souls that have seen a lot and have experienced a lot in the category of pain. And there's some place inside us that does not want to inflict the same pain on someone else that was inflicted on us, because we know how excruciating it is and how much time it takes to heal, if ever. So if you find someone that is willing to hold a space for you while you are healing, without judgment, without rushing you, or without any kind of sarcastic side comments, or not trying to control you, not trying to tell you how your journey should go. If you have one person like that in your life, you have found a diamond. You have found a gem. The challenge is, some people, after we hold for them in our loving and in our caring, instead of appreciating it, let alone ever saying thank you, some people just turn on us after that time period. And that is probably one of the most hurtful things that those of us who are sensitive and have that ability have to endure. At some point, those of us who've done it and done it and done it and don't want to inflict pain on others because we know what it's like, at some point we come to the conclusion that we cannot do it anymore for anyone unless we have absolutely discerned that this person in front of us that we're holding for is sincere, a grateful consciousness, and will give back at some point when they can. Now, this is never a guarantee, but as we build our inner soul, our inner sanctuary, our heart, as we grow that place, we become better discerners. We become better, I want to say judges, but it's not judgment, it's discernment. That we can spot a person who is of the same ilk, the same consciousness, the same mind, a person who thinks like you, someone who doesn't want to hurt anybody. There are people, I know I'm one of them, and it's gotten me in so much trouble. There are many of us that take hit after hit after hit without striking back. I guess this is going to be a video instead of a reel. My brother is 4 years younger than me, and he was born pretty much a rageaholic, a temper tantrum baby. he's 60 something now. I don't know because I don't talk to him anymore because of that. But he was born like this. And I remember, if he was 4 or 5, then I had to be 8 or 9. I remember this as clear as day. He would love to hit me. That was one of his pastimes, is to hit me. I'm telling you, this is weird. I have no cleavage showing now, but when I look in the camera, it looks like I have a cleavage. I work hard on this, guys. I keep pulling and pulling. Let me repeat myself. A little Coke belch. 4, 5, or 6. So I had to be 8, 9, or 10. And he loved to hit me. He just loved to come over and just hit me for no reason. Now, I'm a child. Do you know what I would do? I would, because he would come at me to punch me, and I would intuitively, instinctually, here's my brush. Let's say this is his head. When he would come closer and closer and closer and he starts to swing, I would put my hand on his head, literally on his head, and hold him away from me while he was swinging. And so he couldn't reach me because I would hold him as far away as I could while he would go like this. And because I held his head at bay, he couldn't hurt me. Now, how in the world did I know to do this? Any other child would have hit him back, or run to mommy, or run away, most likely hit him back. Why did I hold him at bay? How did I have that awareness to not hurt him, but also not let him hurt me? And I don't say this is ego at all, but this has to be some old soul wisdom and knowledge that I have accumulated, that I have learned to not harm another, to be harmless, but also not be a victim and get hurt. I could say this over and over to you because I don't even know how that was possible that I did it. And it wasn't just once. It was kind of like a regular thing. He would come to hit me, usually when my mother or my father were out of the room, and he was going through whatever I don't know what his mindset was. I still don't know what his story is. He can't keep a job. He cannot get along anywhere he works. He's divorced. She was very happy to get out of his life. I don't know. I don't know if he's done his inner work because I had to remove myself. But what are the chances that an 8, 9, or 10-year-old little girl would know in an instant, the first time, to hold him at bay by grabbing his head? I would just hold his head away from me while he was swinging with both hands and couldn't touch me because he was too far away. I'm sharing that story with you to reinforce that there are people on this planet that have been abused in childhood, in other lifetimes, who have this nature, an innate knowing of harmlessness, to not harm another person. Because, and I'm repeating myself, because we don't want to inflict the same kind of pain on someone else that we know by personal experience is so hurtful and so excruciating. And I'm thinking for a minute about, our government, that person. Do you think he thinks about harmlessness? Do you think he's holding anyone at bay? He should be holding his entire staff at bay from hurting us. So that is a great example of someone who is either a very new soul, who's come here and just is acting out like a baby or a child, or has never, ever been hurt, or is not in touch with his hurt, because obviously he's come from a dysfunctional family, and is not in touch, has not done his inner work. So when someone strikes at us, we cannot afford anymore to not protect ourselves. A high level of protection. I mean, a wall of protection. And that has been the theme of my podcast, is God is real. And if you know that and you walk in that and you create in that, the second thing you have to know is people are going to be jealous and envious and hit at you. So therefore, the second thing I've been sharing with you is protection, a high level of protection. As many times a day as you can, a white light around you, a prayer, your home, a white light in there, run great music in there. Protection is a partner. If you know that God is real and you are partnering with God, then you need to protect yourself. There was something else I wanted to say about that. Well, just the bottom line about it is that there are souls on the planet that this podcast is devoted to who are of the ilk and mindset of not harming other people. And what I have learned is at some point it becomes like being a doormat, because the same person or other people will come and test you and test you and test you until you put out a very clear, concise, effective message. Don't bring that shit to me, because I am going to put up a wall and you will never get through it. You will never penetrate it, and you will never see my face again. Now, I am saying that really harshly because I have come from and still have a very soft place. I heard something great the other day. I think I've said it to you already. I will not bring my soft to you. I will not bring my soft to you unless I know first you are safe. Isn't that brilliant? I will not share my soft, which it may not sound like now that I have a soft, but I do have a soft. But I will not bring my soft to you if you have demonstrated to me once, twice, 3 times that you will not honor that place and keep it safe. So if you see me go really hard and I go into my dark feminine and I sound really bitchy, it is coming from a place, an honest place, and I'm telling you outright, it is coming from a place of not being a bitch in my heart. It's coming from a place of letting you know in no uncertain terms, don't bring your BS to me because I'm not tolerating it anymore. The problem, the challenge, I guess those are the only 2 words. The challenge of that is not our nature. It is not in our nature to tell people, halt, stop, stay away, because by nature we are open. By nature we are generous with our hearts. By nature we are generous with our loving. So for us to put on this wall and this protection and this no is really out of our character. It's not our heart. It's not our nature. We have to develop it. We have to practice it. We almost have to force it and say, stop where you are. You've demonstrated to me who you are. I get it now. It took me a while to get who you are, but I get it now. And you are not welcome here anymore. And they will test you like a little child tests his parents or tests his grandparents. These adults will test you over and over again, particularly narcissists, psychopaths, sociopaths. They will test you to see if you really mean it. So we have to go through some, I hate to say how many, We might have to go through narcissists and those type of people before we finally get so fed up that with conviction, not, wishy-washy, but with conviction, no more, this door is closed, go to the person across the street, I'm done, I'm picking only premier, prime people for my life to be in my life. So, the moral of the story is with some people, you cannot bring your laughter, you cannot bring your joy, you cannot bring your soft, because they will step all over you. And my collective, the algorithm that I am focused on, know what I'm talking about. I am saying this to give you permission, a kind of permission that no one ever gave me or told me or informed me about. Let me be the one who gives you the permission to start to say no to the people who take advantage of your sensitive, soft spot. This is what I was trying to say. I don't have the word for it. The downside, I can't get the words. Okay. The downside for those of us who are sensitive is the temptation to shut down completely, seal off the heart, cover it with everything, just cover it, just keep covering it and covering it. No one's going to hurt me. No one's going to get me ever again. And then you have all this armor on your heart. And then someone comes along who can hold a space for your soft and for your vulnerabilities and for your journey and from your growth. But you're not available to that blessing because you're all like armored up. You're armored. A-R-M-O-R-E-D. Armored. So, to take off the armor, piece by piece, if you have shut down, is a feat in the healing process, is to finally be vulnerable again after you've been hurt over and over and over again, to take down that armor. And that is where the devil, the evil, the negativity, that is how it wipes us out. That is how it wipes out the army of lovers. It knows that we are sensitive. It knows that we give chance after chance. And it knows if it can get in and in and in like a corkscrew, in and in and in through person after person after person, community after community after community. If it can get that corkscrew, you know what a corkscrew is? Just goes round and round and round. If it can get that corkscrew in there deep enough, it knows that you will shut down. You will no longer connect to the highest power there is, Spirit, God, Christ, whatever. And he will have won, W-O-N, he will have won one more soldier away from the light. So, if your dream and your mission and your heart says, I want to work for Spirit, I want to be a worker for God, I want to be of service to God. Hard people are not the people who state what I just said. The only people that say that, well, no, some people do say it, but they're not willing to do the work. So let me take that back. The people who say that and mean it and endure challenge after challenge after challenge, test after test after test, trial after trial after trial, that God can put us through to make sure that we are, sometimes I don't have the words, guys. I see it, but I don't have the word level. That we are made into a chalice. What is it called when, I'm seeing it, when a piece of metal is put into fire, when they brand a cow or cattle, they put it in heat to make the logo or the initial of the owner. They put it in the heat to meld it into that shape, and then they take it horrifically and ram it into the animal so people know whose it is. God is doing the same thing with us. He is molding us into a chalice such that we can hold his vision that he wants to bring through us. He cannot afford to have you wishy-washy. He needs to know that you are built, that you are complete, and that you are ready to hold this vision and this mission. It is not granted to anyone who harms people deliberately. They may get away with it for a while, but not long. So I'm kind of going off track here. To my lovers, to my sensitive ones, to the artists, to the women who take care of business and take care of harmony and take care of keeping everything whole and together out of their knowing, their intuition, and their loving for people. If you are a lover of people, you are not a harmer. Harmer. I spell it because of my New York accent. What promoted this podcast was a protection of sharing with you is at some point we need to say no more. I'm done with this trait. I'm done with this mindset. I'm not letting anyone else hurt me, harm me, and take advantage of my loving. And trust me, those of you who know what I'm talking about know that people smell us, they spot us, they can see us from far off, and those particular personalities will come in and harness our energy. They will take our love without return of anything mutual. There will be no return of energy. They may fake it for a while, but soon you will know the truth. So protect yourself. Defend yourself. There is nowhere that I have seen that it says be a doormat for anybody. Nothing that I have read spiritually says you are required to be a doormat and take everybody's crap and their shit from anybody. And that includes those in high, powerful positions. And the specific one that threw me and taught me it had to be a spiritual teacher that had to betray me for me to finally learn that. And it was years, because I was devoted to my spiritual path. So God knew, well, I shouldn't say God knew, the devil knew, the evil energy knew that it could not get me through any other door. I had already sealed off all the other doors and all the other shadows that I had to work on. The only door that I had open, the only place that my heart was still open, let me say that again for myself. I had already healed so much. The only door that I had open in my heart was to my spiritual teacher and a particular spiritual path that I ultimately chose into above all of them. And where did the devil come in? Where do you think the evil, negative energy came to destroy me once and for all? It came in on that relationship. And because the teacher, who's supposedly, higher than me, did not have the what? Did not have the heart, did not have the conscience, did not have the balls, did not have the courage to say no to the devil, to the evil. No, I will not do that to Barbara. I will not sever her relationship with me. I will not sever her relationship with spirit and betray her. But he was tempted. He succumbed. He went for the jugular. Took 15 years of my life because he had a whole team working with him to smear me. You know my whole story. The gossip. And 15 years later, knew I became homeless, knew I didn't have food to eat, knew I didn't have a place to sleep, knew I didn't have money, all from this one event that I was accused of that I didn't do. In 15 years, he has never contacted me. He's even been face to face with me, never asked me if I needed food. Do I have a place to live? Do I have a place to sleep? Do I have heat? Do I have cool? And nothing, not in 15 years. And now that I'm exposing him and his community, he is hustling, which is another podcast. He is hustling now to cover his ass and that of his administration, because they know, and this is the beauty of saying no. They know, and I've made it very clear in these podcasts because I know people are spying on me. They know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I am never, ever opening this heart up to them again. And in that, they know that I have no problem telling all the secrets that I have been holding in for 37 years. So let me say that again, particularly to those of you who are spying on behalf of this community. They know beyond a shadow of a doubt that there is no place left in here that will ever open to them again, that will ever trust them again, that it's over, it's severed. You may see my face occasionally, but I am not keeping any more secrets about the corruption I have known about since 1988. And plus, I've been filled in by old-timers about the corruption that has preceded me, or has it preceded me? So, when I share this with you about saying no, I am telling it to you from a place of how long it took me to say that, to do that. And I'm sharing with you, it also took the most important thing in my life for me to cut off. And it took me 8 years of trying to spin my head around the cult mentality of what they had done to me, what they've done to people, what they're still doing to people. But, you know, everybody's still asleep, still attached, still following, still not courageous enough to leave because they're holding on for dear life to this teacher who they think is God. Well, I found out he's not God. They are not God. They don't even believe in God, because if they believed in God, they wouldn't harm people. So I am walking around. I am a walking witness to an entire community, which was not my topic, but here I am again. I am a walking witness of how a very classy-looking, multi-millionaire type place, lots of people donating money and everything, how corrupt and evil they are in the dark. So don't get fooled by outer niceties and outer chandeliers and outer forms that are so deceptive. And the most deceptive part of a lot of communities is claiming that God is at the head of their community. If God was at the head of this particular community, I would not be doing this podcast. I would not have become homeless. I would not have aged. I would not be ill. I would not be on a walker and in a wheelchair. I would have 10 albums out by now. I would be singing, doing concerts. I'd be dancing. I'd have my own business by now. I would be doing so many other things. But if you check out my podcast on gossip, you will know exactly what I went through. Check out the podcast I did on gossip. So what was my point? My point is, don't take as long as I took to save your safe place. No, excuse me. To save you, don't take as long as I took to save your soft space only for safe people and safe environments. And it is very difficult to, isn't that funny? Difficult. I have to break that down. I was just going to say it's very difficult to recognize that in a cult. I wish I had a dictionary right now. I'm going to look up the word difficult. D-I-F-F-I and then C-L-U-T. I bet it has something to do with a cult. It is very challenging to break off from a cult that is very polished and also has at least one person that seems to portray the loving. And they could be authentic, but our teacher is dead and gone, and we are left with no one who is as authentic and as loving and who has earned the mantle through blood, sweat, and tears. The person who's been put in that place was just handed a couple of keys to do a few things and did not do any blood, sweat, and tears. And I'll do that in another podcast. So my point, I'm repeating because I'm the one who's getting distracted, is save your soft for safe people. And the only way to determine that is to do your inner work, to develop your intuition and your instinct so you can sense who a person is before you expose your heart. You know, my spiritual teacher, who is now deceased, who I believe was the real thing, though he had some significant corruption himself, did tell me a few times to take my heart off. I share this with you. This is a gift from me to you, from my teacher. Take your heart off your sleeve, Barbara, and put it back in here. This is what my teacher said to me. Take your heart off your sleeve, Barbara, and put it back in here. I did not understand him. I just thought I knew what he was saying, but I really didn't. And then his very own people saw that heart on my sleeve because I didn't listen and put it back in here because I didn't understand. Those very people that he put in charge when he died are the ones that took advantage of my heart on my sleeve. And I could not get it back in quick enough because I was just spinning from what was going on. How do you reconcile in your brain that the same people that are discussing these highfalutin spiritual principles are also corrupt, hiding things, hurting people, and then devastated me? I couldn't wrap my head around this. I would watch the teacher speak, the new one, and I would think, well, my thought now is, now my question to him in my consciousness is, how do you look at yourself in the mirror every morning? How do you so-and-so look at yourself in the mirror every single morning when you know that your entire community is corrupt, when you know that what you did to me was undeserved, unprovoked? I mean, I was like in the top 1 percentile of serious, sincere students. And my intelligence and creativity was off the charts. How does he look at himself in the mirror? How does he stand up there and preach? How does he write all this stuff? I read what he writes and I'm going like, it's really like, I won't even tell you what's in my head. Where do you so-and-so get the nerve to preach about God when you are sitting on a pile of shit, hiding it through money, riches, your attachment to Hollywood, your multi-million-dollar home, all the rich people that get on their knees and beg and beg and beg and give favors. It's a reciprocal. They give money, he gives favors. They give money, he gives blessings. Those of us who've been around 40 years, we could never even get through to him unless we write a letter, and then if you ever get an answer, he doesn't even read most of them. So I am off on a tangent. I am on my rant. How did I get here? Spirit does this to me. So, if you are in a situation that is cultish, I'm thinking of 3 people who are Scientologists that have gone public about their excommunication from the group and how hard it was to pull away from their lives being threatened, for thinking more freely, for not buying into the game or the cult or the matrix. Well, I have been through it, and I have come out of it, not unscathed. My walker and wheelchair are sitting right there. I aged at least 20 years in the process. It may seem to you like I have a lot of hair because it's all pushed forward. I've lost 90% of my hair just from stress, malnutrition, and not having a home base to take good care of myself. The list goes on, guys. I am on a rant. I'm really sorry. I don't think anyone's still on, but the point is, save your soft for safe people. Save your soft for safe people. Don't hang out with those people. There are other spiritual people. There are other musical people. I'm in music. I have to tell myself there are other people that want the same thing I do and treat people the same way I do. I went into isolation. I went into hiding. So I am coming out of the closet by doing these podcasts with you. I didn't even plan this. This just was, I need to do this. So I'm off on a tangent. I know when I'm on a tangent, and then when I get on a tangent, I don't know how to get back to home base. So home base is take your heart off your sleeve. Men, not just women. There are men out there that are in touch with their feminine. There are men out there who are soft inside. There are men out there that are sensitive inside and get a load of shit from the most manipulative women who go in for the kill and destroy them. And those are the men who also armor their heart. Let's do it again. They armor their heart, and no other great woman will ever get in there. And unless they start unpacking and doing the inner work that lent them vulnerable to attracting a manipulative woman. Whether they're going for the riches and the diamonds and the reputations and they just want to be taken care of, or they just want some attention for a couple of years. Men get devastated just like we do in relationships. They harden just like we do in relationships. There's a study that was done that whereas we stay single when we're hurt and we kind of like nurture the hurt for a while and try to work out of it, a lot of men jump right into another relationship before they're healed. It's kind of the tendency of a male, more so, to not want to be alone and to not want to be by themselves. This is a study, I'm forgetting his name, Mate, a psychiatrist out there who was aware of or even did the study, that men will tend to go to another woman right after a breakup, whereas we women will hang out for years single and may stay single. So let me do that again for all of you. So if you are devastated and hurt, you will take everything you possibly can to not get hurt again and shut down your heart. And this disappears. And then some wonderful, I'll use men, some wonderful woman shows up. One, you can't even see her because you're not available. And you can't even be attracted to a healthy woman because you're still hurting. And so the job for the men as well as women, and I think it's harder for the men to do the healing process because it means being vulnerable. So men, too, if there's any man, apparently 85% of my followers are women, but if any man is listening to this, you have got to open yourself up to your blessings, to a great woman who is waiting for you and is looking for you. And the only way you're going to see her, the only way you're going to desire her, the only way you're going to be presentable and be present for her is if you have just given away everything, and you will have to open your heart again. However, with caution, check her out. Ladies, check him out. Yes, there's always the possibility human beings can switch on a dime. It is human nature where the negative thoughts come in and take over the body, take over the consciousness, take over the mind, and all of a sudden you'll see a 180-degree personality. So that's where the discernment comes in. That's where the intuition comes in. That's where the instinct comes in. And for men to open up to that feminine part where the intuition and the instinct and the magnificent feminine energy that knows, that is wise. It's not the, again, I don't have the word. It's not only for women. The feminine energy is in every one of us. The masculine energy is in every single one of us. Both polarities are in all of us. But we women have a problem finding our masculine, and men have a problem finding their feminine. So for me to go into bitch mode, I need to move into my masculine. For a man to go into his soft space, he has to go into his feminine. I'm saying this lightly. I'm saying this in simple terms, but this is mastery that takes years, potentially lifetimes. For those of us who have been here lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, it's like we're fed up already. It's like, get me off this planet. I'd love to have a mate. I'd love to have a partner, but I don't need one. I'm self-sufficient. And that's another challenge we need to talk about sometimes. When you're too self-sufficient, ladies, and I am one of those people, I am self-sufficient with nothing. I've learned to live with nothing. So I don't need a man. I don't need approval. I don't need to be liked. I don't need to be attached. So on one hand, that's great. On the other hand, it lends me to be separated from people. So there's a good side and a bad side to everything. So to my men, investigate the feminine energy. Save your soft, preserve your soft, or get your soft back. and save it for someone special. To my women also that have armored themselves like I have. I know what that's like to armor myself. I'm single. I am single. I've been single since 26. So obviously I am not settling. Obviously I've had to do my work. Obviously it's taken years, decades. And obviously, even though I healed all the trigger points, I left, like I said to you, one door open. The one door I left open was the door to God, the most sacred thing in my life. And I had a spiritual teacher and a spiritual community that swooped in on that opening and tore me up. Strategically, deliberately, they wanted to be me. They wanted what I had. They wanted my gifts. They wanted everything that I've worked for since I was 7 in this lifetime, and everything else that I've accumulated. And I always say, for myself and for you, only I have my thumbprint. And if they were to cut off my thumb and take it and use it, God, it would not be attached to my energetic. There would be nothing they could do with it. So another shout out to my Judas and to the ringleader. You will never be me. You will never have my gifts. You will never receive any more of my energy, any more of my love, any more of my support. And when I have money, you will not get a penny of it. Hear that loud and clear, because I am going to be a very, very, very wealthy woman. And my response to you will be, in fact, I'll just say it right now, I will not give you a penny. And in conclusion, don't expect that you're going to get away with what you did to me, because I am going to use this 15-year experience to tell everyone on this planet how to get free of communities like you that are corrupt, hypocritical, and liars, deceivers. You steal people's energy, you steal their ideas, you steal everything from them to build your corporations. If everyone would just walk out of these churches, they would collapse in on themselves. They would have no jobs. There will be nothing to support these buildings. They wouldn't be able to pay their rent. They wouldn't have any money. Trust me, guys, if you had the balls to walk out of your churches and make yourself the church and build yourselves instead of building them, they will collapse and they will be at the bottom of the barrel, looking to you for guidance, looking to you to figure out what is it in you that makes magic. And you know what? Don't ever tell them. Let them go to God like you did. So I get on these rants and they go on and on and on, and I apologize. I apologize. You know, I won't even go there. What is that about? Spirit just comes in when it comes in. And that is not what's on my list for tonight. I had 2 other podcasts and I need to go to sleep. So, love, love, love is the greatest power on this planet. Don't waste it on people that do not deserve it. If they want love, let them go to God. You need to move on with your mission, with your gifts, and with your ministry. And be discerning to see through, oh, what is it in the Bible? The devil comes in a gentleman's clothing, something like that. The devil comes in the form of a gentleman. Like, someone who's handsome, someone who's dressed in the right way. The devil comes in that, I wish I knew the scripture. The word gentleman is in it. The devil comes in the form of a gentleman, someone that you would look at and go, oh, wow. That's how the devil, the negative energy, the cow power, whatever you want to call the energy that gets into the psyches to destroy, comes in a handsome gentleman. I'm thinking of one who was pulling a number on about 5,000 of you. I'm done. I'm free. And I'm going to help many get free. So, when I go on my rants, I don't know how to come back and close. So I'll just say, this spiritual heart. I'm always cold in here. When you see me doing this, I'm freezing. The spiritual heart is not to be mocked. I'm saying that for my little cult. My spiritual heart and God's spiritual heart is not to be mocked. And if it is, there are consequences and payback that will be publicly visible for everyone to see. So there's no doubt in anyone's mind that God is real, that God protects his own, and God eventually says, no more crap in my temple, no more bullshit on my watch. No more bullshit on my watch. God sees through all these fancy, rich buildings, but he also sees what the tunnel underground, where all the corruption takes place, where all the cash is hidden, where all the gold bars are hidden, where all the kids and the children, the young men are molested and touched inappropriately. He sees all that stuff, whereas the congregants and the parishioners who are trusting and sweet and kind cannot even imagine the bullshit that I somehow was required to find out and to see. Probably, most likely, so that I could tell you about it without you having to put your body on the line, without you having to be shocked. Not everybody can handle knowing about Epstein files in their own communities. There are Epstein files everywhere on this planet. There are Epstein files, and you know what I mean by that. You know what I mean. You know the population that maintains this kind of behavior and maintains these kind of files. And it is not handleable. Is that a word? It is not handleable by every soul. Not everyone is capable of holding and seeing that dirt without imploding on themselves. Not every soul on this planet can handle the ugliness that is going on without imploding and destroying themselves, because it is so ugly. You have to have a different makeup to see that kind of stuff. And maybe that's why we're not seeing these files, is because the majority of the planet would go in absolute cognitive dissonance if it were to really see the videos of what went on. Those of us who have imaginations, those of us who've seen lifetimes of dirt, we can see what happened. We can see the potential of the torture and the how do you say it? Malevolence, M-A-L, I can't even say it. Malevolent behavior. I can't say the word. It's M-A-L-E-V. Malevolent. I don't know. It's not for everybody's eyes. It's not for everybody's consciousness. It's not for everybody's heart. Those of us who are on the front lines, we can handle it. We've seen it. We know about it. We can tell you what happened. We can predict it. I just posted about it today, as a matter of fact. This is where I start repeating myself. This is where I start going, and I need to edit these reels. So, God is real. Protect yourself. And let's add number 3 is this heart is worth more than any money, any possession, any person, place, thing, or circumstance. This is your pearl of great price. This is your pearl of great price. That term is used in a lot of mystical books. The pearl of great price. A pearl. The value, am I wearing my pearls? No. The value of a pearl. The great price of a pearl. The pearl of great price is in here. It's not really the physical heart, but this is the representational spot of the heart of God. Again, it's not the physical heart. It is the representational part that we point to as the spiritual heart. If you look at pictures of Jesus in all the art books, everywhere, back, the artists, they always painted Jesus with a heart right here with flames coming out of it. What were the flames about? Was it passion? Was it protection? Was it a burning up of the crap and the toxins and the BS? Think about it. What are those flames about? So, maybe if I put on some lipstick. Maybe if I put on the lipstick, I can start and move on to another podcast. So, I really enjoy doing these podcasts for you. And I always have a certain outfit on so you can identify my topic. When I wear this black jacket and the red, it's a specific message to you that I'm going to possibly go into a rant. When I do my affirmations, I have another outfit. When I just want to wing it, I have another outfit. So anyway, I'm going to try to do one more little reel. I haven't done one reel yet. They're all too long. Okay, guys. From my heart to yours. I am love. You are love. I deserve to be loved. You deserve to be loved. I am lovable. You are lovable. I deserve to be with people that are loving and caring and safe. You deserve to be around people who are loving and caring and safe. I love myself more than anyone, and I make God first. You love yourself more than anyone, and you make God first. Love is the greatest power in my life. Love is the greatest power in your life. I reserve my loving for people who demonstrate that they know how to take care of it. Loving is the greatest gift that you have, and you only give it where it is taken care of and nurtured and appreciated. If we don't do that, this world is never going to change, because there's always going to be people who work for the negativity that will keep this planet down until we start saying, step aside, go get your own island. We're going to make this a beautiful planet, and you are not welcome here. You that make ugly are not welcome in the midst of the light and in the midst of the loving. If you want to play with us, you have to learn to play nicely. Let me say that again as a teacher, the second grade teacher. If you want to play here with us, you need to learn how to play nicely. And until you can prove that you know how to play nicely, you are not coming into this classroom. There's plenty of islands, there's plenty of mountains, there's plenty of land that you can go live on, go live in a tent, but stay away from our playground. Stay away from God's temple, or you will see us turn the tables, just like Jesus did. Stay out of our playground if you are coming to harm myself or my brothers and sisters. And that is the attitude we need to have, is stay out of our playground. If you are here to harm us, or stay out of our playground if you don't know how to play nice, go play with the other nasty people. Don't bother us, because we are busy creating God's heaven on earth. We don't have time for you anymore. We've wasted too much time already. We deserve to be in a heaven, a clean, heavenly paradise. We don't have room for deception. We don't have room for corruption. We don't have room for nasty, and we don't have room for ugly. And if we all adopted that, those of us who love God, if we all adopted that, we would create a heaven. And it would expand, and it would expand, and it would expand, and push those people far, far away. And they can just go to hell. And going to hell, I mean, they can stay in that hellish place, and they can get their lessons, and they can come back when they learn how to play nice. Play nice. That's going to be the name of this video. Play nice. I just did 10 podcasts. I just did 10 podcasts. I'm laughing, but my laughter did not just neuter what I just said. Play nice. It's up to us each as an individual to have the consciousness that we only hold a space for those that play nice. We all have to individually make a choice that we do not play with ugly. Now, I can't force you to do it. You can't force me to do it. I have to choose it. You have to choose it. But if more and more of us make that choice, that ugly is not here, ugly is not allowed here. If all of us, many of us did this, I am telling you, those people will want to get into our playground because we know how to have fun. We know how to dance. We know how to sing. We know how to make music. We know how to make art. Those are visionless, uncreative people. That's another sign of how you know someone is not of God. They have no vision. They fake vision. They steal visions, but they have no innate vision. And they are not creative. I know someone who was my Judas. He dabbles with all these instruments. People walk out. He has no sense of music because he's not in here. It's gross what he does. If you're a musician and artist, we all walk out of the room when he starts playing. So anyway, this is rated XXX. This is rated excommunication material. This is excommunication material, but it's already happened, so I have nothing to lose. I just thought of something to share with you. I can't wait to get a Zoom because I have some lovely podcasters that I'm following that I really want to support, and I want to share them with you. And he just came to mind. I made his face. I saw my face turn into his face. I watch him every day. Today's lesson was on empathy. So we'll talk about that another time. Good night.